a bevy of beauties.
They do, clearly.
Yeah. Well, we don't really have, if we have any men that come on to our live, well, there's Bootsy Sweet Tarts. That's Roy. Roy lives in
New Jersey,
New Jersey. And we met him, a couple of years ago. We went to a sort of a small resort in Fort Lauderdale, and he and his partner were there, and we struck up a conversation, and then he started his own YouTube channel, and I told him about mine, so he pops in every now and then. But
What's his channel?
It's called Bootsy Sweet Tarts.
Okay.
Yeah. He does crafting things. He does some sewing things. He makes these very unique looking purses and handbags and things. He's into kind of that kind of stuff. And he does gardening. I think his latest YouTube video was all about his garden.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if we have any other men in here, because on the live, we don't have any way of really telling who's on there unless they start to chat. We have a lot of lurkers. We know that.
I've been a lurker for a long time. Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm glad you came out, dear.
Well, it took me a long time to figure out the technology.
Oh, well, but you're doing it, so you know.
I did it.
What are the balloons for?
What's that, Jody?
What are the balloons for?
Oh, okay. You missed that. Yeah, we're having another Zoom thing tonight, but this is Pride weekend here in our area. And we're in Toronto, like we're about 40 minutes outside of Toronto. The whole city of Toronto would be just shut down for gay pride this weekend. There's over 1 million people go to it. The parade would be on Sunday. And we stopped going years ago because you literally can't move. There are so many people there, and they close down streets to have vendors and beer gardens and live entertainment and all kinds of things. Well, this year, no, because of COVID, it's of course canceled. So we decided to have our own pride party tonight with some of our gay friends, and so these are our decorations.
Very nice.
Right in the background. So
yeah, we have gay pride parades and so forth here in Denver.
Yeah. Well, it's the traditional weekend for it because it's usually the last Sunday in June. Now in Toronto, it runs for a whole month. They declare the whole month Pride weekend because Toronto's gay pride events are one of the largest in the world. We went.
I think New York's the only one that's bigger.
Yeah. We went to Sydney's a couple of years ago when we were in Australia. It happened to coincide when we were in Australia. They have theirs in March. They call it Mardi Gras, and it's at night. And it's really quite spectacular to see it at night because everybody's wearing neon and they have like LEDs and colored stuff in it around, and it goes for days.
Do they start it on a Tuesday?
Which the one in Sydney?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. But
if they call it Mardi Gras, doesn't that mean Fat Tuesday?
Oh no,
yeah.
I don't think.
No, that's not the same Mardi Gras.
No, I understand, but that's what the words mean.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why they refer. No, it doesn't start on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Usually it's a whole weekend long kind of a thing. And in their case, it's now. Okay, when's Fat Tuesday actually start? I guess it depends on how Easter falls, right?
Well, it's all it depends on when Easter falls, but it's always a Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Because I think that they must have their parade very close to when Lent would be starting. So that may be why they call it Mardi Gras.
Okay.
But it's really quite spectacular. But we stood there and watched it for about 3 hours before we left, and it was still going. And it's a bit of a zoo because there's people from all over there, and it's Aussies. I love Australia, as you know. We love Australia, and I love Aussies. But Aussies, I always say, are just a little rough around the edges. Everything they do is just a little less refined than what you might be used to. So they do drink, and they drink a lot. And there's cops all over the place trying to keep, the crowd doesn't really get that, well, it does get a little rowdy. We were a little afraid trying to go back to our hotel room because every street was blocked for miles. And we had walked quite a ways to get to where the parade was going to be from our hotel. You could not get an Uber, you could not get a taxi anywhere because of the way the streets were blocked off. And we got lost trying to get back to our hotel. Sydney's a big city. We finally made it back, but it was a little scary, which is not something we've ever really experienced with our own Pride parade, even though there's over 1 million people at it every year. But I guess maybe it's just because it was a little different place than what we're used to.
Yeah.
Spectacular, I'll say that. They really know how to throw a wild party. It's just some wild.
You know, Steve, notice on here, like, okay, here, if I press the legend at the edge,
Yeah.
it has things like start video, stop video, and you can change it to your front camera.
Okay, so
back
what
camera.
did you press on?
It's at the edge here. Yeah, press.
Okay, Janet, are you still with us?
Yes.
Janet? Okay, at the
Yes.
top of your iPad screen, just push on the edge of the
No, kitten.
Let's see.
Are you gonna actually?
Whoa.
I could flip the.
No,
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out where I am with the.
Anita, are you being attacked by
By a cat? Yes. Yes. The 1-year-old kitten that was
got switched over.
Oh,
up on top of the bookcases and about to jump down on the laptop. Like,
I'm
no,
just
no.
switching camera angle here for a second so Walter can show Janet.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, hang on. Let me see if I can even
Okay.
do this.
Oh, did it switch?
I am so sorry.
Is it there? I don't know where it is.
you gotta press the legend at the edge, and it brings down a menu, right? And it's
You
like
know,
video
yes.
or switch cameras.
Oh, yeah, there's-
Okay, I'm on join the meeting, and that's the, did y'all call a number?
You're listed in the participants list, so
You're there.
yeah. Oh, here comes somebody.
Okay,
Okay, I don't know who this person was. We might be getting bombed here. We'll see. Apparently there's somebody trying to call in by phone.
that may be me.
Oh. Maybe. Because you won't
If I
get,
can,
it doesn't Janet's. I've got Janet's phone. Okay, that's gone. If that was you, that's gone now.
Yeah, it says Janet's iPhone on the screen.
Yeah.
is there an iPad?
No, there's just an iPhone. Oh, no, there's just an iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Oh, wait, there is
it's,
Janet's iPad on here though too.
Jean's iPad.
Oh, that's Jean. Sorry, Jay gets me through confused.
Yeah.
Jay, yeah.
Okay, now
It says a problem,
how come?
unable to connect.
Okay.
I'm going to try again.
We're going to have a celebratory drink if Janet gets on here. We see her. Everybody get a drink. Get ready.
I'm going to call my sister Andy because she wants to be on, and I'm not sure what's happened.
Oh, yeah, because she got the invitation.
Yeah, and she was planning to. So I just want to make sure she's not trying to get on.
Okay, guys, the ID for the meeting is,
Hey, are you trying to get on? Okay, okay, well, I'm on. Can you tell me what kind of trouble you're having? Join a meeting, okay.
Oh, okay. I see her. Just,
Yeah,
well, if she's in my list, she's on.
you're on. Okay,
She's
Sudie.
supposed to be on, but I don't see her.
Andy?
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. That's Anita.
Oh, that's Anita. Okay.
You know, really, I just had half a beer since we started. So it's not.
Are you calling on the phone? Did you do the?
No, that's Janet's iPhone. Okay, what's that? Oh, that's Andy now. Okay, I'm admitting her.
Okay, he's letting you in.
So she should pop up here in a second. Somewhere.
Okay.
There.
You should pop up in a second.
Here she comes.
Oh, they don't care.
Yeah, there she is. We've got a visual. I see a dog. You didn't
Yep,
tell
that's
me it was
Mitzi.
a dog.
Oh, yeah.
Her audio is connecting.
Okay, they saw Mitzi.
Yeah, see it, saw the dog.
You're kind of in the dark though, and I think it's the backlight from your window. Still trying to connect to her audio.
You still trying to connect to your audio?
Oh, there's Janet's iPad. Okay, admit. Okay, we can see you, Janet.
Okay.
Hey, I see the back of some folks' head.
Yeah,
That's
Why?
Walter's.
yeah.
Because I've got that.
Okay, bye.
Done that one. Okay.
Okay.
Echo.
Are we ready to drink yet?
Oh, yeah, oh yes.
Cheers.
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 Okay. You hear me now? Why am I getting the echo?
Yeah,
It's not from you.
I don't think so.
Hi.
Yes.
So on your side, Steve,
Can
can you
Come here.
see all of us lined up?
Oh, no.
Oh, there's Andy. Hi.
Lord have mercy.
No,
It's very dark there, Sudie.
there's the troublemaker.
Hey, listen, I'm
Look.
on.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
This is the troublemaker.
That's my sister.
And baby.
Hi, Mitzi.
Look there.
Okay, we're getting feedback from Andy. I hear an echo. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not Andy.
Look. Look.
Walter, can you hear me?
Okay, back.
Let's show them the troublemaker here.
Oh, hello,
There we
Anita.
go. Now we can see you.
Yeah.
You're not getting any audio. You're still getting an echo?
No. But can people hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so I got that problem solved. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
Andy, we can see. Janet, we can see. Janet, can you see everybody else?
I can.
You can. Yeah. Drink.
I'll drink to that.
Yay. So that means that we can see everybody. So who didn't show up? Audrey didn't show up. Aunt B hasn't shown up. Dana's here. Dana's here.
Yes.
Gina's here. Gina's here, yes.
Mhm.
Who's here? But Nancy and Teresa. Now the thing is, I don't know who Nancy, Teresa, and
Oliver.
R. The only one I know that we don't have here is Aunt B, because the other ones I don't think have ever. I think they've just been lurkers, but they decided they want to do this, but they haven't shown up yet. So we just have
Uh-oh.
two people here.
They're
So,
lost.
yeah, they're lost. Okay, so look
There
at
is
this kitty.
That is Oliver.
Hi, Oliver.
Oh, cute.
I have 6. So
Wow.
6.
6.
Wow.
Cat lady.
No.
And you're not even a widow.
Nope, they were all rescues
Oh,
Good
so
for you, Anita.
that were starving.
Oh.
They're not anymore.
where did you rescue them from?
What?
Where did you rescue them from? Like,
My backyard.
oh,
They show up. We live close to a nature area, and you know, used to get lots of stray cats, and they were not, caught or fixed, and so every season we would end up with stray kittens once they wander. So I have 6, yes.
just adjusting my settings here so I can see everybody a little bigger.
But the black and white, that's my Oliver. That's my baby. He sleeps with me at night. He doesn't like men.
Oh, he's a lesbian.
Doesn't like men. And he hides from everyone. If anyone comes to the home, he hides. People don't, unless they see a photo, they're like, where is this cat? So he's my buddy, though.
We miss our Cleo. It'll be 5 years.
Wow.
In a couple of weeks that we lost her.
I know.
Yeah. I see, Bonnie, you've got a poochie pooch there too.
Yes, she's a year old. She's our baby.
Baby. Oh, that's nice. I've been thinking about that we should get another kitty, but I don't know if I want to go through all of that again. Like at the end, the hardest thing I had to do was when we had to take her to the vet to have her.
Yes.
And I mean, she was suffering because she had pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
That's tough.
yeah,
We've all been there.
yeah.
Yep.
But I do miss something furry running around the house. Well, with something extra, not just Walter.
By the way, I like your beards and all. You guys look good.
Yeah, we're
Right.
we haven't got our hair cut yet. We're booked though for July the 8th and July the 9th. So I'll be glad to get my hair cut. I'm keeping the
Me
beard.
too.
Amy and I cut our own hair.
Oh yeah. Well, we almost came down to that.
We got clippers.
We have clippers. I mean, his would be easy. I could just take the electric sander and just.
Oh. Ooh.
Well, I
That sounds awful.
Oh, there's Dana's little poochie.
This is Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Oh, hi, Emma. She's all black. You can barely see her. She loves money. She adopted me at the Humane Society. I went in to ask about how to sew cat blankets for their cages. And this little one, and I was sitting filling out some forms, and this little one popped up on my lap. And I went, I think I have a new pet. Hey, would you come home with me? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. They pick
They
you.
choose you.
They choose. Yep. So she's a wonder dog. We wonder what she is, where she's been, what her age is. We know nothing.
Well, that was kind of like when we got Cleo. I worked on Walter for 5 years to have a cat because I grew up with a cat, and I love cats. I love dogs too, but with a cat, you don't have to walk it. We were square dancing at that point. Yeah, that's a story in itself. And there was a guy at the square dancing who he'd look after sick animals from the Humane Society in Toronto, like take them out so they wouldn't infect other ones. And this guy actually, it was another friend of ours who told us about this guy having this cat and said, you know, you guys were looking for a mature cat, but because we didn't want a kitten, we wanted to, because kittens are rescued all the time in humane societies because they're so cute. And so we want to give a home to a cat, you know, that was a little older that might not get adopted as readily. So we went to see this pussycat. They told us it was a 3-year-old, a petite 3-year-old. Well, when I looked at her, and she just immediately, when she saw us, she was on the kitchen floor and she'd roll all over the place. So I picked her up and she was just purring her little heart out.
Aw.
And so I gave her Cleo to Walter. We didn't have a name for her at that point, and said, here, hold her. And it was like giving somebody a baby for the first time, you know, how do you hang on to it? I had to show them because I was used to holding on to cats when I was younger. So she just curled right in and purred that and said, oh yeah, we have to have her. But it took 10 days to get her because there was a long weekend in between and they had to go through the adoption process and the screening. And I was really afraid somebody else might snatch her up. So I drove into Toronto. Walter was working. I was working too, but I worked from home at that point in time because I was teaching virtually. And so I drove into Toronto, and I'm a nervous driver driving into the city. I don't like doing that, but I was getting my kitty. So nothing was holding me back from that. Went in, and they said, do you want to go into where all the cats are? I said, oh, no, because I want them all. They brought her out. They put me through an interview process, want to know my background and the whole bit. We'd already set up the nursery. I'd gone off to PetSmart. We got a cat carrier. We got the litter box, the litter, the food. We had it all planned out, all ready to go. I even went to a seminar, I think, about, you know, owning your first pet or something, even though, well, I was a kid when I was raising the other one, like that was more like my parents doing it. So all the way home from Toronto, she was in the back seat on the floor in the car in her carrier, and I'm talking to her all the way, telling her, okay, when you get home, okay, this is going to be, and this is how, and like this. And when I got her in, front door, opened up the cage, and, you know, they kind of come out slowly, look around, and I just let her take her time. And then I pointed out to her where her bathroom was going to be. And she didn't have any problem with that. And, well, she was great. We did go through a few episodes with her where she doesn't play well with others. We have a screened-in back porch kind of area where a hot tub is, and in the summertime we'll sit there a lot in the evening. And we brought her out for that because she was going to be an indoor cat, and we were just getting her used to that. But we thought, you know, it's all screened in, she might like it. Well, one time when she was out there, she saw another cat that got in our backyard. There was bloodletting, and it was ours. She attacked us. It was the wildest thing you'd ever seen, to the point where we had to shut her into our mudroom, and she was in there for 3 hours before she calmed down enough that we could let her out. And every time I'd go by the door, I'd go, are you calm? This paw will come straight out under the door, and she still had her claws because we never had her claw, and it goes, but I guess not. And for 3 days after that,
They call it redirected aggression.
yeah, 3 days after that, we literally put her around her in the house because she'd look at us and she'd growl and the whole bit. And so we knew then she did not play well with others. But most of the time, she was not a problem. Only if she saw some other person or other kitty trying to invade her territory. That she wasn't having any of that. But yeah, she was good. Oh, the first night when we brought her home, we had a water bed in those days. And as I said, we did not have her declawed because until I found out what they do. And I didn't realize they amputate at the first knuckle.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh.
I thought they just somehow removed no, they amputate.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not
Right.
doing that to her. And she never clawed anything in the house except us. But she never wrecked anything in all the years we had. But the first night, threw her up on the bed. And then the next morning, I said to Walter, someone have an accident? I'm feeling a little damp. Well, her little claws were like
Oh, yeah.
punctured the bladder. So Walter had to patch it up, and we didn't leave it for 24 hours for the patches to dry. So we were in the guest room, in the bed in there, and she was in there, and oh, she was so cute. She got between us, put her little head on the pillow, and she was covered up, and there she was snoring away. And so the next night, when we could get back into the water bed, well, you think we'd learn? No, same thing happened again. So we got rid of the water bed. Getting rid of the cat, getting rid of the water. But yes,
Wow.
she was a little cutie. There was no two ways about her. Actually, everybody thought she was a huge, huge cat because she was white and she was a long hair, and she looked massive, but she never weighed any more than 13 pounds. She loved to be groomed. Walter would do all her grooming, and he'd cut out any mats, and like he groomed her so all the time. Like she was perfectly looked after. She was a princess. But then he'd play with her, and she'd like to play rough. So she'd grab his arm with her claws, right? And he'd come out the bedroom after, because he'd do it on the bed with her because she liked that. And he'd be all bloody. I'd say, what?
Maybe just scratched up.
Yeah, scratched up. And I'd say, he goes, yeah, she's scratched. I says, well, you play rough with her. She's going to do that. And so sometimes she'd forget herself with me, and she'd stick her claw, and I go, no, you play nice. And then she'd lick me because she knew I didn't play like that.
You didn't play like that, huh?
I don't play like that. You little.
What kind of cat was she?
Well, we never quite figured out what she was. I think she was a feral at one point in time, but she looked like, I looked it up, and it's something called a Turkish fan, which is like a Turkish Angora, but it has sort of a caramel markings on its head, and its tail's got a caramel color. So she's all white except for caramel on her head and caramel on her tail.
And Turkish vans apparently swim. They like water.
Wow.
In the Middle East. And she actually liked water too.
Yeah, that is rare.
Yeah. She wouldn't jump right in, but she'd go, like after the shower was over, she'd be right in the shower, playing around the water, mostly having a little drink. She didn't
get worried. She didn't get uptight about getting her paws wet or anything. So.
She had her own fountain. A fountain is what we had for her water. It was a continuous running water, all because cats like running water. And so she was a princess. She had everything. Yeah, she was our baby. So I don't know if I could ever get another one or not. You're in the dark again, Andy.
Actually, she's pretty good right now. It was it's the window behind her.
Your backlight. Oh yeah, your backlit.
I have to pay attention to my princess.
Oh yeah, your dog. What kind of dog is it?
A boxer.
Wow.
A what kind?
A boxer. That's
a
right.
boxer.
She said that before.
Oh yeah, right.
She's quite spoiled, and she was crawling all over me because I was watching the screen, but I wasn't paying any attention to her.
Yeah. Have you seen the YouTube? I think I posted it on my vlog called Kittysaurus. It's a girl in, I think she's either in Korea or Japan. And she has 6 cats, and they're beautiful, beautiful cats, and are also well groomed and looked after. And she does constant experiments with them, like not anything that would hurt them or anything, but she puts up mazes to see what they will do. It's fascinating. I've watched hours of these videos with it. It's called Kittysaurus. So if you're looking for, and each video is relatively short, 3 or 4 minutes long, but they're fascinating to watch with it.
I think you recommended that YouTube channel.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, you did. You did.
So it's worth checking out if you like cats. If you don't like cats, well, forget it. But
yeah,
actually, Walter's niece has a dog. She got a Doberman. She lives on her own, but I think it's a fairly friendly Doberman.
Well, my sister, her mother had a Doberman. Actually, a couple of Dobermans over the years, and they were really good dogs. Like they weren't really aggressive or anything. They weren't trained aggressive or anything. So that's why she ended up with a Doberman, because she was used to that kind of breed. So
I adopted my first dog and got her home, and we took her to the vet the next day, and I just thought the dog was fat. I took her to the vet the next day, and the vet said, the dog is pregnant.
Oh.
I
Oh,
said, oh, no. So my colleague said, okay, bring the dog over when it's time for the puppies to be born, bring the dog to our house and we'll have the dogs born there. So that was the plan. And we'd gotten a book and we were reading through the book. So a couple of days before we were going to take her over, I was talking to my colleague on the phone, and my son came in the room and said, you know, you can forget about reading the book. I said, what do you mean? He said, oh, she's just had 2 puppies on the kitchen floor.
oh,
And she proceeded to have four puppies that night. And then the next morning when we woke up, there was a 5th puppy who had nothing to do with the breed she was.
Oh.
oh.
So you had a doggy slut.
Yeah, I did.
We know what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Not sure with who.
Or with multiples, clearly with multiples.
Right.
Oh, geez. So what'd you do with the puppies? Did you give them away?
We kept them at my friend's house, and then we found homes for them. 2 of them looked like twins, but one was black and one was white, so we called them Ebony and Ivory. And we identified a couple, and we invited the couple over to meet them and they came over to meet them, and they thought they were meeting one, but anyway, they left with 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't want to break up the set.
Right. And then the last puppy turned out to be the ugliest dog you could ever imagine. And her husband my friend's husband decided that he would socialize this dog in such a way that people would not see how ugly it was. And we found a family that thought the dog was beautiful.
Yeah. All in the eyes of the beholder.
That's right.
I've never seen an animal that I would call that I wouldn't adopt because of their looks. Although I have to say that that one hairless cat breed, Sphinxes or whatever, give me the
yeah, they're ugly.
Because they look like they've been abused. That's what bothers me about them. But so Bonnie, what are you drinking? Or Jody, I mean.
Just ice water with lemons. I have to have lemons in my water.
Oh, okay.
So nothing exciting.
Oh, I thought it was straight up vodka, but whatever.
So,
And Virginia, are you drinking anything?
It's just a Jose Cuervo margarita.
Oh.
I'll trade you.
Yeah.
Over.
So, let's see. So everybody with the exception of us and Dana are all in the States, right? Yeah.
No,
wait.
Bonnie's not.
Oh, no, Bonnie. Yeah, I forgot Bonnie.
And Dana's not in the States.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
Dana and Bonnie. Okay, Dana and Bonnie and us are all the Canadians, and the rest are all the Americans and everything. So, there we go. You got your.
All right.
Yeah.
Canada Day coming up.
Yeah. Now, what are they doing out in your end, out in the East Coast? Are you having sort of a virtual one?
No, our town has a little kind of a modified Canada Day celebration.
It's a parade.
Oh, so where people can actually physically go to something?
Yeah, we're in our last stage of opening up.
Yeah, I know that, because you guys haven't had any more cases, have you really, or just 1 or 2?
So we start a bubble with Atlantic Canada on the 3rd. And so we're really at the last stage of opening up. So we have to we're supposed to wear masks, not obligatory, but and social distance when we're out in public.
Because we're in stage 2, apparently. We did go out this afternoon. We went over to the fabric store to get some fabric.
Did you get your machine?
No. Oh, actually, while I was there, the owner wasn't in the store that day, but she happened to be on the phone to one of the employees. And Ellie, the employee, said, I heard her say, he's here. Do you want it? Because I guess she wanted my phone number, wanted Ellie to look it up. And she says, do you want to talk to him? So it's just a coincidence. So I talked to her, and I guess they have decided that the problem with my machine has to do with the embroidery unit. There's a separate unit that attaches to the machine arm, and that runs the hoop. Well, you know, ironically, we've been telling them that that might be the problem, but they weren't listening to us. So,
didn't Walter say that on day one?
Yep. And so they want us to bring in on Thursday the embroidery unit. See, I've got the store's machine right now. So I'm bringing in the embroidery unit from the store machine. I guess they're going to hook it up to my machine and try it. And if they can't figure out the problem from there, they're going to send it to a place it's called Oakville. It's on the other side of Toronto, and that's where there's a Genome.
That's the head office.
That's the head office for Canada. And they're going to have the Genome people look at it. But she's been on FaceTime, I guess, with some of the Genome people trying to figure this out too. So that means I won't be able to embroider at all, still be able to sew. And I just started a huge Christmas embroidery project that's all these 32 different pieces, panels that you get sewn all together, and it creates this sort of wall hanging called Starry Night with Santa. It's really nice looking. I bought it online. It was fairly expensive, but it's going to take me. I started it now because to get it done by Christmas. I'll be delayed.
It's only 6 months.
I know.
Yeah.
6 months.
But anyway, so yeah, that's the story on the machine. And you know, funny, since I've been posting on my Idiot Quilter part of my channel, my problems with that machine, I've had other people reach out to me and tell me that they have had similar problems and still do with their machine, and they're being told by their dealers or whoever they go to that it's it's their problem, it's user error. And I've said some of it could be user error, yes, for sure. But my problem is not user error, it's the machine. So, and you know, it was a pricey little machine. But actually, I did contribute to the problem. It was an accident. I didn't realize. I was trying to quilt a quilt on it, and I caught the arm, and I didn't realize. So that's what I think set things into motion. But it's not totally that either. So I don't know. I just would like my machine.
If the calibration is out, or
yeah, they adjusted that. They did find on the little arm, see on my machine, traditional embroidery machines, the arm's on sort of on the inside if they just do embroidery, and you hook your hoop into the inside where the throat is. On mine, it's a separate unit, and this arm swings out behind the machine, and the hoop attaches to that. So it goes up and down and sideways that way. And I guess when I first took it in with the problem, they checked the arm, and they found, well, there were some threads in there, and like there's a belt in there, and they found a pin, okay? But they cleaned that out. Well, I'm very careful, but yes, that would have been my fault that got in there, probably unbeknownst to me. But that wasn't really the major problem. So that's the first thing they did. And then from there, they've replaced a gear thing. You know, like the timing was all out, so they had to adjust the timing. And there was a gear that was a little strip, so they fixed that. That they've done calibrations, and they've done all of this stuff. And we keep telling them, check the arm, check the embroidery unit, and no. So finally today, they have relented to do that because they can't figure out the rest of it.
so are you using your arm on the store's machine, or?
Yeah, I'm using the embroidery unit and their machine. It's all their stuff, and it's been working fine.
And their arm.
And their arm, yeah.
So why, if they tried your arm on their machine, wouldn't that tell you if?
Yeah, that's what we suggested, but we got poo-pod.
Well, Well, she didn't want to believe that it was the arm.
Yeah.
And I said, well, his problem originally started because his quilt got jammed under the arm. And I thought they never really addressed that there might have been an issue with the arm. They just pulled some threads out of it and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that when you're doing embroidery, it's the machine sewing plus the arm has to guide the hoop, right? So if the hoop is a little out of sync with the arm, with the sewing machine,
Okay.
then I would think that could cause a problem.
And that makes sense. That actually makes sense.
Now, this is not a criticism of them because they have been more than wonderful with it. I mean, like, they're a great store. But I think the owner just had it in her mind that it was not that possibility.
Well, no, maybe she's never run into a situation where the possibility
that's
was
possibly
the arm.
it, yeah.
So,
Right.
But I don't want you to think that she was being like belligerent and giving me the once over, she wasn't.
She has been trying to fix it, and she gave him the store machine, so
to use, yeah.
Walter, do you have problems with your machine?
Sometimes, but not to the point where it's usually user error.
And Nancy's here. I'll wait for Nancy's audio to come up. Was Nancy on the? Yes, there's Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can and see you. And can you hear and see all of us?
I can. Somehow I minimized everything. Oh, there we go. Yep, I'm good.
That's good. So, yeah, a little late to the party, but that's okay.
Hi, Virginia.
Hi.
Let's see, do I know anybody else? I don't think so.
Chance to see faces, which we never get to see.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Hi, Nancy.
Oh, Bonnie's got a manservant. You put her in the shade, yeah. Must be nice. Well, we're glad you can join us, Nancy. We're just talking. This whole thing is a bit of an experiment. I am thinking, this is actually working out, I think, pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I am thinking that I might do, you know how we do Art Attack every now and then?
Mm-hmm.
Might do an Art Attack at some point in time using Zoom instead of YouTube. You know, people can get maybe a little bit more involved, do it at the same time, but they can also hold up and show their stuff. It's not all just one-sided, just us, the whole thing. So we'll see. I'm also thinking of doing maybe a couple of, I don't know, small little tutorials on something in quilting, in sewing. I mean, I hesitate to do that because I'm not an expert. I'm just, in the sewing world, really. It won't take 2 years. So,
Not many experts out there.
I agree. I think you should do it, Stephen.
Like, how many of you actually quilt? Anybody besides me?
I do.
Me?
Oh, okay. So what we could do is we could have a virtual quilting.
Absolutely.
We've done one, like Dana and I have done one already with the Quilter's Way that you've heard me talk about before, out in Alberta, Calgary, with Kim, who runs this group, which is a paid membership site. But I'm not charging anybody for mine. It's just for fun. Because I don't have the facility to charge anybody anyway, even if I wanted to. I mean, I could have a web page or something and set up some kind of thing, and I don't know how to do that. And,
You can do a PayPal.
Yeah, I thought of that, but I have a problem with charging people in this platform for something I'm doing because I really figure I'm the kind of person who wants to give you your money's worth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody to think I was trying to take them for a ride, and I don't know. It's just easier to do it for
It becomes a job. It becomes a job.
Yeah,
when
it
you're
becomes a job.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
Right.
if I'm tired, I don't need a job.
I mean,
So, that Jody, Alex, out west, the Curiosity Inc.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
He makes a lot of money on his little chat things he goes on with his super chats, because I watched him adding it up, like in an hour, $500.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
What does he do that
Whoa.
earns $500?
Well, he's a very nice person. He's
I'm really nice, and I can't.
I am too.
I know. Well, that's why I think.
my email?
But a lot of people give him money because, well, he's done things with the money. He's helped other people out, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the mentality between. I mean, I guess I'm not a very charitable person.
So he just gets on and starts talking, and people donate money while he's.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
called
it's a thing.
I want that job.
When you're on YouTube and there's like,
Right.
you have a small group on YouTube, so you don't really.
Oh, that's right, and you can
Right,
click
but
that
it
dollar
means-
sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Then the only way you can become visible is if you pay money and your chat floats to the top.
Okay, gotcha.
So.
Oh wow.
It's kind of like a tip, and I guess that's because I'm Canadian. We're not. We're very
Canadians don't
cautious
tip.
about tipping. Not as bad as Aussies. Aussies are horrible because they don't tip for anything, but they don't even expect a tip when you go to Australia into a restaurant, because they get paid a minimum wage of about $18 and something
Oh,
an hour.
okay.
And so the servers are making if you tip them, they look at you in surprise.
Even a taxi driver doesn't want to take a tip.
So when they travel and they come to like North America, especially come to the States where you tip for everything, they don't know what to do. In fact, they don't. So Canadians,
That's funny.
Canadians, what do Canadians and canoes have in common?
Canoes tip.
Canoes tip.
What are canoes?
What are canoes?
Yeah.
You don't know what a canoe is? It's a boat. You know, like.
Oh, you're talking about a canoe canoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, indigenous people traveling along, Hiawatha or whatever.
I'm sorry, I've never heard anyone compare themselves to a canoe. You know,
Canada.
I use
My husband and I had this discussion the other night about tipping, because we're doing a lot of ordering and then you just go pick up from a restaurant or whatever, and we were discussing whether we should tip or not when we pick up the meal. And I said, well, they're not doing anything other than taking the meal from the kitchen to where we're picking it up. It's not like they're serving it. But then I thought, well, maybe I'm being mean, but
Actually, in Canada, you get the people that work in the restaurants tend to get a decent wage too. So
yeah,
there's some places.
well,
I think in the U.S. the servers don't get paid a whole lot.
No,
yeah,
they don't.
no, they don't.
Even
Wow.
people that are serving at takeout. So that's why
Right.
some people in the U.S. will tip.
well,
If-
minimum wage here,
But in
they all
Canada,
get minimum wage
Yeah.
yeah.
or more. So that would be starting at $11.50 or more an hour.
That's
Which
In
is
Ontario, I think it's over 14 an hour. So.
Yeah.
yeah, was it? But in Australia, it's like 18, almost $19 an hour that they get. So it takes a little time to get used to that when you're over there, but it's kind of nice. And the other thing that's nice in Australia is their sales tax. When you see the price of, say, a shirt in the store, and it says it's like $69.99, it is $69.99 when you're at the
Oh.
including the tax.
And even if you rent a room in a hotel, the price that you are charged is the price you pay.
I like that.
You
Me
don't have
too.
any like provincial tax,
Right.
additional taxes on top of your regular room. So
Yeah, same with the food in a restaurant. You see the price. If it's $12.99, it's $12.99. It's not like you have to add on. I think that, and I think too, for a lot of when people from the United States come to Canada or to Ontario anyways, and they go into a restaurant and they see the price on the food and then they get their bill, they go, what?
What?
Because it's 13% more added on top of that. You know? So, yeah. And the rule is when you tip in Ontario, you're supposed to tip on the amount before tax to figure it out. Of course, most people just look at the final bill and say, okay, 15, 20%, whatever, on top of it. But I agree with you, though, Bonnie. If they're not actually serving me, then if I'm basically serving myself, then no, I don't think I need to tip. So, but
then I thought maybe I was cheap, you know.
Well, as Canadians, we are a little cheap, but, but you know, like, I don't know. It's just, I guess every country's got their rules for whatever it is, or their etiquette for doing the tipping and stuff. I mean, I will tip more if I get exceptional service. I tip 15%. But what really drives me nuts is when you pay electronically and you get the machine, right? And they already have built into that the tipping, and you got to watch it real close.
Right.
Because some of them will start at 20%. And first button is usually 15 or something like that. So just automatically, you're used to doing this, you just hit the button, right? And I caught that a couple of times, went, oh, wait. No. I mean, if you were exceptional, I might consider it. But otherwise, no, you're getting my standard tip for it. But I don't know. I guess I'm cheap. It's more money for fabric. That's all I look at it.
We don't tip fabric shops.
No, you don't. Thank God. I already pay their bloody monthly mortgage on there, I swear. I mean, we went in, was it a week ago or something?
Yeah, you said that last week.
Oh, yeah, I told you about that. I mean, between Walter and I, well, because I bought this expensive software too at the time, I dropped $2,000 in the fabric store. No wonder when we walk in, all they do is all go ka-ching, ka-ching, and they can't do too little for us. Some are too much for us. But
I've been ordering online. So just a question, do you tip the delivery person that delivers your parcels to the house?
I do. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not Amazon or the postal or anything like that, but I've been doing grocery delivery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I tip them, and I tip them well.
I do too.
I would do that, but I don't tip Amazon and.
No.
No, I agree.
Stay at the door long enough for you to do that.
Right.
in fact, you don't even know they've come to the door because they don't even bother the doorbell anymore. Our Alexa will tell us when something has arrived, and then we go out to, oh, there it is on the doorstep.
Well, they don't even bother to bring it up to my front door. They just put it down on the stoop.
Ooh, bad. Yeah, they knock here, and then they drop it, knock it, and then leave. They don't wait for me.
Most of mine come about 5 o'clock in the morning from Amazon.
Wow.
Well, Nancy, I was going to say, you've got a slogan for Amazon. Knock it and drop it.
Right.
Hello, it's Amazon here. You'll know us because we knock it and we drop it. Anyways, but what was I going to say? Something about, I've done a lot of fabric ordering online, and I was kind of at the point where I thought a lot of people say, well, I don't want to order my fabric online because I want to see it, I want to feel it, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've been having really good luck with that. Like, as long as you know the brand name.
Brand, yeah, I agree.
With it. So, and to be honest, it's more reliable than going to my fabric store because in some cases I have found stuff that I can't get at my fabric store. So, and prices aren't that much, not that much higher than what I'm paying at the fabric store, even with the shipping. So, of course, I've been buying only Canadian. So,
But the issue is coordinating fabrics. If you're trying to coordinate, it's hard online.
yeah, that's true enough
Yeah.
with it. But you want to know something? I don't. They asked me today. I bought some fabric today. So what are you making? I said, I don't know.
Same here. I never know.
Pretty. It's just pretty.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it used to be the way I when I first got into scrapbooking. That's how I bought paper too.
Mm-hmm.
Still have enough paper to go around the world 12 times.
Yeah.
But that's soon going to have to change. I got to get rid of a lot of that stuff. I need to expand my sewing room, so I need a real one. Just waiting for the COVID thing to die out a little bit so we can actually go and get the things that we need, the new counters, like go to IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
We call it.
Are you thinking about a long arm?
Oh yeah. But only thinking, because the one that I would want would probably, I want it computerized.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's about $30,000, $25,000.
What about used? I see so many people buy them used.
Yeah,
That's a possibility.
that's a possibility too. We have a long arm place here in our area. Actually, I've gone down and used the long arm on my quilts, just done what they call pentagraphs.
Right.
Laser light around the pattern. And she just reopened up doing all the social restrictions and stuff like that. But she's deals with them too. So I'm sure.
The only problem with that company is it's APQS, and they sell all their machines in Canada in US dollars. And right now,
okay.
our exchange rate is really bad.
Yeah, that's not a good plan.
I have to put Walter out on the street to do tricks to get enough.
Something like that, yeah.
The problem is he'd come home and I'd say to him, "Who gave you the dime?" And he'd say, "They all did."
Oh no, Stephen, you could start a YouTube channel and do the money thing, but you'd have to be nice. So
Yeah, that's not happening. No. That's not worth it to me. No. But we'd also have to have a space to put it. And yeah, we're kind of, it would be a little cramped. There are some possibilities, but I don't know.
You gotta get rid of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like Walter.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's maybe down the road. I don't know, but I really need, I've got 7 UFOs need to be quilted. And for those of you that don't quilt, that's unfinished objects, they call it. And I want to quilt them on the domestic machine, and I want to do free motion. And I'm a little afraid of free motion, but you know, you got to get over the hump and practice, right, Dana? As you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Stephen, I'm practicing free motion, and I have decided that I am aiming to be mediocre at this point.
Do I know something? I heard on, I was watching a YouTube video, might have been with Kim from The Quilter's Way or something, and there was somebody it must have been that one we had, that lady, I forget her name, Dana, that crazy, but the one before, and she said that basically you just do it and you don't worry about mistakes, because if you don't point out the mistakes to anybody else, they're not
going to see it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to live by that philosophy, but maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Walter,
Okay.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Walter could do a GoFundMe page for you.
I'd have to pretend I have a horrible disease or something. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but no.
Oh gosh.
yeah, and then everybody could do a knock and drop.
Yeah. Sailor.
Oh gosh.
Oh, not that kind of knock. Okay. Never mind.
Sorry, I
Okay.
couldn't help it.
That's okay. That's what we-
Stephen,
Yeah.
I'm sitting at a table with my very first quilt laying here in front of me. And you're a huge part of being responsible
for this. I never wanted an embroidery machine, but I'm kind of like you are with whoever dies first with the most toys wins.
Yep.
And that's a whole lot the way I am. The last thing I need is another toy. But I want to ask you guys that quilt, because I want to quilt this. It's just a jelly roll baby quilt. And I want to just stitch in the ditch, quilt it. And what I don't know is, where do I start it? Do I start in the middle? Or do I start on one end and come all the way to the other end?
Well, I was always told, and I don't follow this, you should start in the middle. The reason being is your quilt, they say, will squish out. But what I often do is I start in the middle, but I start at the middle at the top.
So do I.
And you want to stabilize the quilt, which means, you know, getting some of your initial stitching down, sort of a grid kind of a thing, and then you can go back and go to the other one. And I found that that works pretty good for me when it comes to like tucks, because tucks are horrible. You get a tuck, you never get it out in that. But that's from my experience, but everybody's got, I mean, anybody else on here, like Dana, what would you do?
I'd like to finish a quilt first to be able to do it.
Well, I start in the middle. I have problems. If I start at the top, by the time I get to the middle, I have to re-sandwich everything from the middle on down. It seems like it slides on me.
How do you, when you sandwich it, do you use spray basting or do you pin?
I spray baste in the summer and I pin in the winter.
Oh.
Is that because you take it outside to?
I take it outside. I don't like, you know, the all the vapors.
Oh, I love those. I do it all season round.
Me too.
Because I have found that after you get high on the vapors, as you're quilting, it looks beautiful. Really?
Alex Anderson has a product called Free Fuse that it's you do it on put it on the ironing board. You iron this little powdery substance on between the batting and the backing, and then between the batting and the top. And
I just got some of that.
I did too, so I'm going to try that.
Yeah, I think what it is it's actually like a plastic product.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Melting it when you put it on.
Yes, that's exactly right.
What I'd rather put up, actually, I don't find that the spray that I use, I don't find any fumes.
I don't either. I'm fine with it too.
So
but I'm gonna try this. Just.
Are you using 505?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I use 505.
Yeah, me too.
With it, so I don't find fumes being a real problem. But then again, from years of doing mixed media where I sprayed stuff all over, maybe I'm just immune to it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, quilting on a domestic machine can be done, but I mean, I've hooked up the bungee cords.
Yeah, me too.
To hold it up.
Yeah,
I think I showed that in one of my videos. But I had the luxury of having open beams in where my sewing room is, so I could do that. Although you can actually buy a contraption. I've seen it that it does the same thing, but it's sort of freestanding. You clamp it to your table and does that kind of thing. Yeah, I just like machines though because they're so, like, people think you're not really quilting because a machine is doing it for you. I say it's still quilting. I had to turn on the machine. I had a
It's 21st century quilting.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
well, you guys are awesome. I don't quilt, but
we'll start.
Very, very awesome.
Well, we could help you learn.
No.
Well, you know how I got started? I bought a Cricut maker, the newest one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had Cricuts before, but this one had a rotary cutter on it, and they had a pattern for a wall hanging. And so I was experimenting with cutting fabric, and then Costco had a cheap brother sewing machine because I didn't have a sewing machine. And I bought that, and that's how I made my first quilt and never looked back. So, 5 sewing machines later, why does one need 5 sewing machines? Because they're there. So Walter uses one of them, but my first machine. I donated the brother to a high school, to their
Good.
their home. They don't call it home ec. They don't call it family consumer studies, whatever they call it. A friend of mine is the head of the department, and she teaches fashion arts and stuff like that. And she has some girls in the class who really can't afford a sewing machine. So, she has a bunch of sewing machines she lends out that they can take home and work on stuff. So I said, well, I got this brother that it still works. It doesn't work for me for what I need. So she took it, and I guess they're using it. So
Good.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
The
So
reason I said I couldn't answer that question is because I'm sitting here readjusting masks for a family.
oh,
My life is still masking away. I have great plans. I have dreamed? Yeah, whatever. 2 new quilts that I want to do. I've had 5 customers this week, and I can just see my dreams going behind me.
well, when you say customers, you mean they've commissioned you?
Yeah,
For masks?
for masks, and I also do machine embroidery. And all of a sudden I have quilts to do, and when our get together is over, I have 2 orders, same person, same design, of Merry Christmas on flannel, but it's going to be about 24 inches long, going up and down.
Oh.
So it's a wall hanging.
No, apparently this lady is going to be making before July 1st, and look at the date today, and I got it yesterday. She's going to be making 2 winter duvet covers for her great nephews, and she's taking them to Saskatoon, which is about 2.5 hours north in Saskatchewan from me. And she's going up July 1st, and could I get this done for her?
Oh,
Ooh.
Right. Hope you're charging her a lot. Express service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you get it all designed and you've got Merry Christmas right across on your screen and you're doing great. Oh, no, I forgot to tell you, I needed to go about down this way, and I need the M and the C to be bigger, and the other ones have to be about 2 inches high.
Okay, there's a solution for that, Dana.
yeah.
You know what it is? It's called screw you, bitch.
Wow.
I worked on my designer program yesterday, and I read up on what's the best stabilizer to use with flannel, etc. And I went to bed thinking I have to remember to call her tomorrow to find out if the fabric that she left me, whether she has pre-washed it or not.
Oh.
Because if you think about it, flannel is going to shrink terribly.
Yes, it is. Wow.
And I'm happy to say she is of the much older generation, and said, yes, I washed and dried it twice.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ask if she'd done it in cold water, but I thought I'd leave it alone.
Well, if she hadn't pre-washed it, I hope she would be happy when she washed it the first time when it came out matte Kuzma.
No, Stephen, I'm nicer than you. I would have put it through 2 hot cycles and through the dryer.
No, I wouldn't. You're right. I'm not as nice as you did. I would have just said to her, "Screw you, bitch." Bye. But I'd say it, and I mean it in the nicest way.
Yeah. I'm not. No. Anyway, that's why I answered why I did, is because I'd love to be able to get some stuff on my own, but it's not what I'm supposed to be doing again this weekend.
Oh.
But someday I'll have 2 beautiful new quilts that I designed and figured out, and I have the material, and oh well, too bad.
Oh well. Well, anyways, guys, we should let everybody. This was great. It worked. little bit, so we can do something like this again in the future. We'll be on tomorrow for our live, but I don't know what we're going to talk about. On a regular live, all the ones who didn't have guts to
Right.
show themselves. But
And it's great to see everybody.
yeah, it's so nice to see her face for a change. So you don't have to just look at hers. So, okay, so guys, enjoy the rest of the night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
This was great.
How to get out of this. Okay, here we go. And